and upload your screen or share your screen, I should say. And if you can maximize your screen for us, you can begin.
Okay. It is
Down at the, yes, perfect.
okay. Alrighty, so good afternoon. I'm honored to be here, and I thank the City of Chicago for this opportunity to speak at this year's virtual vendor fair. My name is Thomas Phelps, and I'm the Senior Financial Consultant for the Chicago Minority Business Development Agency Export Center. I have been in the financial industry for 25 plus years. I have worked at various financial institutions, primarily banks. I have worked as a commercial underwriter, reviewing many business plans, reviewing and analyzing tax returns and financial statements, both company prepared and audited. I've helped startup businesses with their projections. So that's what I've done, for the majority of my career. Now a little bit about the company that I represent. The MBDA Export Center is under the umbrella of the Chicago Minority Development Council. The council has been in existence for 53 years. The council was established in 1968 during the civil rights movement and social unrest at that particular time. The MBDA Export Center seeks to help firms obtain resources that they need to become export ready. And the Chicago MBDA Export Center focuses primarily on exporting opportunities in Africa. The Chicago MBDA Export Center also seeks to develop alliances with local, state, and federal government agencies, major corporations, banks, and seeks out financial resources within the minority business community. All of this to help our clients network and grow from these alliances, creating larger and more strategic minority entrepreneurs. Today's topic is plan, manage, and grow your financial assets. Planning is critical. You must research every aspect of your endeavor. Is this your passion? Are you willing to make sacrifices that will make your business successful? One definition as it relates to planning states that it can be a detailed proposal for doing or achieving something. In this case, that detailed proposal would be your business plan. Your business plan is a representation of you and your business. It states your purpose. It clarifies what you want to achieve, and it also helps you. It also helps you plan to get there. A business plan is your business resume. If you don't plan, then you plan to fail. Manage. As an owner operator of a business, in my opinion, it's essential to be an active participant in that business. You may not and should not have to manage the day-to-day operations, but you should know something about the departments about the departments that you have. You should hire individuals that are subject matter experts in their respective roles, such as marketing, sales, your HR department. Your team should be qualified individuals that you trust and are confident in. Grow. Very rarely do you find someone that is content with where they're at when it comes to business. Most business entrepreneurs want to grow. They want to expand, which could mean growing from a in-home bakery to a storefront bakery and then expanding locally, having several bakeries throughout the city. Besides I'm going to just step back to the management part of it. Besides the executive team that I talked about, within the organization itself, there's some outside professionals who you might want to engage at some point. You're going to need to engage would be your accountant, a banker, an attorney, a website designer, and then within your personal surroundings, the individuals like a mentor or fellow entrepreneurs, individuals that understand the sacrifices and the commitment that it takes to be an entrepreneur. Working capital is is needed to ensure the day-to-day expenses and obligations are met. You need to have access to working capital, whether you have investors that are interested in investing in your business, or if you need to seek financial, like a line of credit or a loan. The working capital is needed for those day-to-day expenses. Most businesses established have contracts that they are under, and they typically like a net 30 or a net 45, which means that if you make a delivery today, you are not going to get paid for 30 to 45 days. But in between that time, you need to make sure that the lights are kept on. You need to make sure that payroll is met, and that you're able to buy supplies to continue the business, and so that there's no interruption and there's no slowdown in production. So you will need capital. You will need access to capital. Here's a list of several resources used to access capital. You have conventional loans, you have lines of credit. SBA is mentioned on here. There's another institution, Ex-Im Bank, which is an organization that the Export Center works with. The Ex-Im Bank and SBA are similar in nature, that they're not actually banks. They don't actually lend money out, but what they do is guarantee and insure a particular loan. So say, for instance, you go to Bank ABC and you are looking to get a loan for $100,000. If it's a startup business and they suggest that you go SBA route and you are approved through the SBA program, what happens is that SBA guarantee is 75% of that particular loan. So if you go into default, that loan is covered 75%. So there's less exposure to Bank ABC. Their exposure is 25%, which makes them more likely to take on the risk, if you will. And then there's investors that you can consult. There's crowdfunding, venture capitalists. Either route, whether you go through the route of getting a loan or a line of credit, or you look to for investors to invest in your company, they're going to look at several criteria. The first would be the 5 C's of credit, which is character, capacity, collateral, capital, and conditions. They're also going to look very closely at your business plan that you've presented. In this business plan, it's going to have your executive summary. It's going to have your vision, your mission. It's going to have who your competition is. What makes you unique? What makes someone what makes someone that is going to use your service or purchase your product, purchase it from you as opposed to going somewhere else? And then you will have your financials in there, your projections. These projections are going to, you don't just want to have numbers, you have to have some substance behind the numbers. So you need to know how you plan to get to those, to generate those revenues that you have on paper. And you need to be able to explain that and explain that to the reader. The other thing that you will have in that business plan will be your SWOT analysis. This will educate or tell the reader what you believe your strengths are, your weaknesses, what your opportunities are, and then threats. That's my presentation. I look forward to any questions, and Jackie, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. And I'm going to ask Christina if she would unmute herself.
Yes, ma'am.
And
I'm
I
ready.
will pass the ball over to you, and you should have it right about now.
Yes, I do. Okay. Share my screen. Okay. So thank you, Thomas, for your presentation. It was very insightful, and I hope that this is a good segue or piggyback, I guess, to kind of what you shared. So my name is Christina Nguyen, as Jackie mentioned, and I work for the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. I'm the outreach and the alumni director for the program. And just to give you all a little bit of background about myself, I've always been in the space of small business. My family owns a compounding pharmacy on the South Side called 200 Pharmacy. We've been in business 40 years this year. And so all of my work experience has been in small business, and I was brought on to the Goldman Sachs program 3 years ago. And so I just have a lot of experience in the space of small business. And what I can definitely say with full confidence is that this Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program is a premium program when you talk about business education and development. No shade to any other programs, but they have really done their due diligence in this space and built out a phenomenal program that is national. And our core goals, our core outcomes, I should say, for this program is to help established business owners generate more revenue and create more jobs so that you can impact your respective communities. So we are located at Harold Washington College. That is why you see this picture here of Harold Washington. Obviously, because of COVID, we have not been in the building, but let's say hopefully next year sometime we will be able to get back into the building. So all of our classes under normal circumstances are facilitated out of Harold Washington College, downtown Chicago. Okay, so a little bit more about the program. Mentioned this a little bit earlier. It's a national program. We have 19 site locations throughout the nation. And for those business owners who may not be within the range to take advantage of a site location, we also have a national form of the program, which is done online. Halfway, and then half of it is done at Babson College, which is in Boston. And Babson College is actually the creator of the curriculum for this program. So it's still a really cool opportunity for those businesses, even if they don't live within the means of site location. It was brought to Chicago in 2010, 2011. It was created in 2010. I think what's most important on this slide that people, I'm sure, that's usually one of the first questions is how much does it cost? It is of absolutely no cost to you if you are accepted into the program. It's a full scholarship program. The only thing that we ask from you are metrics so that we can measure the impact of the program. So we ask you about your revenue baseline when you get started, and then we'll ask you for your revenue 6 months, 18 months, and 30 months after graduating. And we ask that same information about your employees. So we want to really see how you grow after the program. That's all we ask of you. Right now, we have 790 alumni across Chicagoland. At the end of this year, because we're running a cohort right now, it'll be like 820 something. And that's just in Chicago. We have reached the 10,000 small businesses number nationally. I don't know if anybody has seen any of our alumni posting this, the image for the 10,000 small businesses, but we actually reached 10,000 small businesses. But luckily, they are not stopping the program at 10,000. They will continue to push forward, and they're actually adding more value and opportunities for those business owners that have gone through the program. And we are currently taking applications for our 29th cohort, and that cohort will be facilitated in the summer of 2021, but we'll look at that a little bit more in coming slides. So let's talk about the requirements. I mentioned this earlier as well. This program is really geared towards established business owners. And so the way that we define established is that you must be in operation at least 2 years. You need to have at least 4 full-time employees or the equivalent to. So the way that we calculate employees, full-time employees, including yourself as the owner, is 1 point. Part-time and 1099 employees are 0.5 point. So a mixture of the two should equal 4 full-time employees. Your revenue baseline must be at least 150,000, and we go upwards to 8 million. And then we prefer the majority owner to be the person who goes through the program. The reason for this is because the outcome that you produce is called a growth plan, and it truly is a plan that the owner of the business creates to say, hey, this is how I'm going to grow my business. This is the time that I'm going to do it in. These are the resources that we need to make it happen. And so you do want to make sure the person who goes through this program has the authority to implement this plan thereafter. I do want to mention that we have special requirements for minority businesses. So this 2 years of operation is set in stone. You have to be in business 2 years, but the employee count for a minority business on the south or west sides of the city, more underserved, let's say that way, underserved communities, minority businesses, 2.5 employees. And then we're able to take the revenue down to 100K. So there is some flexibility there. And if you need to have an offline conversation, we are always more than willing to do that, just to help you to see if it's a good fit for you or not. So let's talk about the program overview real quick. So when we look at the players in the game, how did we come up with this program? Who did what? Goldman Sachs funds it. The reason that it's free, they put millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Also like the Bloomberg Foundation and a couple others, but overall, Goldman Sachs fully funds this program, and that's why it's available to you for free. Babson College, a lot of people are not familiar with Babson. They're a smaller college, but they are a powerhouse. They won the RFP that was put out by Goldman Sachs when they decided to create this program. All of the Ivy Leagues, your Harvards, your Yale, Stanfords, etc., responded. Babson won this RFP just because of how comprehensive this curriculum is, truly geared towards established small business owners, because the needs of an established small business is obviously different than a startup or early stage business. ICIC is the Initiative for a Competitive Inner City, and they are our quality control. So when we talk about the application process a little bit later, they are the ones that make sure that this is a non-biased process, and that everything, we're doing our due diligence and everything is being done properly. So they're our quality control. And then finally is City Colleges. They are our true partners in this locally here in Chicago. They allow us to have a clean, safe space to operate, and we really couldn't operate our program without them. So these are the players in the game. Now, when we talk about the components of the program and then this outcome that I talked about earlier, which is revenue growth and job creation, these are the factors that allow us to support you in meeting these outcomes. So the practical business and management education, again, Babson has created a world-class curriculum specifically geared towards established small business owners. You won't find it anywhere else, and it is world class. I don't know how else to say that. It is truly world class. And I didn't even read that. Hello. So it's a really phenomenal curriculum. And then there's a network of support. So the cool thing about this program is that it's a peer-to-peer learning environment. So you are never being lectured to, but you are very much so learning concepts and then getting the muscle memory of these concepts with the other business owners in the room. We also have business advisors who work with you on a weekly basis. So they make sure that the information that you're getting in the classroom, you are actually understanding and able to apply it strategically to your business. And finally, is capital to expand. So although Goldman Sachs is the funder or the creator, the driver of this program, they are not giving you money. However, we fully prepare you to access capital if that is what you need. We have very strong banking relationships, and you'll see in the coming slide, the way that the curriculum is structured, we take a very deep dive into the financial aspect of your business. We spend the most time throughout this 15-week program focusing on your finances so that you are prepared to get capital if that is what you need in order to help your business grow and be able to create more jobs. So the curriculum is robust, and it is world class. Okay, we're going to roll with that word. I'm loving it. It's world class. Okay, so this is a 15-week program, and you will be going back to school. One of the biggest barriers or misconceptions about the program is the time that is required. People go into it like, oh yeah, no, I have enough time, I can do it, and then they get into it and they're pulling their hair out. So I like to be extremely candid about the fact that this is a time-intensive program. You will be going back to school working on your business for 15 weeks. So as you can see, the core of our curriculum are the modules here. Okay, so we are going to address you and your business, really understanding you and how you fit into your business, your growth and opportunities. So how are you going to take this business to the next level? Like, what is truly your opportunity in the marketplace? You got to think big. Money and metrics. This is the accounting, if you will, module. And then when you see money and metrics, you also see we have a You Are the Lender clinic here. And these on the outskirts are workshops separate from the modules. These will be on separate days here, okay? So You Are the Lender clinic. We bring in different lenders from different banking institutions so that you can speak directly to them and understand what they are looking for. Each institution assesses risk differently. So it's important for you to understand how they assess so you know where you're a good fit. And then we have a financial forecasting clinic, which is pretty straightforward. This clinic focuses on forecasting. And then we have 2 financial statement workshops. So that's all happening within the Mod 3 time period, if you will. But these are all, again, separate meetings, that touch points that we have. Then we talk about You Are the Leader. So understanding your leadership style, the culture of your organization, what type of leader are you? Okay, it's the people, is HR. So that's pretty clear, HR. We have a negotiations clinic. So we bring in, her name is Maury. She's like world class. She's a world class negotiator. And so she comes and it's a 2-day clinic and she is teaching you how to be a master negotiator. We have a legal clinic. So we're bringing in attorneys who can help you with the business side of the legalities that you may face as a small business. Talk about marketing and sales, operations and processes, being bankable. So this is what the 6th or 7th touch point that we have around money. Being bankable is a rocket pitch module. So you're actually pitching your monetary needs to lenders, okay? And then action for growth is going to be another pitch module, and you're pitching the growth plan that you created. So again, extremely robust, but it is an absolutely phenomenal curriculum if you are in the position where, hey, I know what I'm doing in my business, I want to get it to the next level, but I need support on how to do that. So when we look at our results, our businesses do well after they finish our program. We do about 30% higher in job creation and revenue growth just 6 months after graduating the program. So if you truly dedicate and immerse yourself in this curriculum, take it seriously, do all of the homework and implement on the back end, I promise you, you will absolutely be able to create more jobs in your business and increase your revenue as well. Another important number to make mention of is the graduation rate. This is a time-intensive program. I will say that for the 56th time. However, it is feasible for you. The way that is structured, there's a lot of accountability that happens within the classroom. You're in growth groups. So you all are, we accept up to 40 businesses in a cohort. And then you all have like these little growth groups, about 5 or 6 of you in a growth group. And so in order for you all to have that peer-to-peer learning that I talked about, you need to be there. And so you're going to learn and realize that, and it does put a level of accountability on you to make sure you go ahead and do what you're supposed to do and finish out the program. So it's absolutely doable for you. Finally, let's talk about the application process real quick, because it's important to know that it's not a one-step application process. It's a phased process. So the first part of the application is very simple, and it covers the requirements that I talked about earlier. Are you the owner? How long have you been in business? How many employees do you have? What's your revenue? That's pretty much it. Okay. As long as you meet our requirements, we're going to push you to phase 2. Phase 2 is how we are able to make sure what you said in phase 1 was correct, right? So we're asking you for financial documentation, like your balance sheet, like income statements, your federal tax returns. There will be an addendum application that asks more descriptive questions about you and your business. You have to show things like your proof of ownership, driver's license, etc. Almost the same documents you would need to submit if you were looking to apply for a loan, quite honestly. And then as long as you meet the requirements here based on, our requirements in the program, you are then moved into the interview process. So at this point, we know that you meet the requirements. Now we need to understand if you truly understand your business's growth opportunity, if you are a good fit for a peer-to-peer learning environment, and if you can truly make the time commitment that's required of this program. And if you check all of those marks, then you will be accepted and moved into starting the program. And again, we are able to accept up to 40 businesses in each cohort, and we run this program 3 times a year. So we have our winter cohort, which is January to April, our summer cohort, which is May to August, and then our fall cohort, which is September to December. So, right. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Christina.
I'm over time.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, like I said, we're recruiting for our 29th cohort. That will be May to August 2021. Everything can be found on the website, application, more information, and then the deadline for this cohort is February 5th. Sorry, you guys, for going over.
That's okay. And for the person who asked, there's Christina's information. So hopefully you took a snapshot of it before I share my screen. This deck, Christina's deck, will be posted. So if you didn't get a chance to get the information, you will. I'm going to move right on to. I'm going to move right to. I'm sorry. I'm going to move right on to Chase, and I'm not sure who's speaking. Can you see the slides? Or no?
Not yet. We can't see them yet. And it's going to be both Pam and I just providing an update on what we're doing to help grow small businesses in Chicago.
All right. And
great. Thank you so much.
You can begin.
Great. Christina, great information. Thank you. I think we can all really learn from that program. It looks pretty intense. So thank you for sharing that information. Hello, my name's Sandra Magallon. I work at JPMorgan Chase. I've been with the firm for over 20 years, and much like Christina, I come from a family of small businesses. My parents own a small manufacturing ice cream shop in Little Village that they've been running for 40 years, and I learned everything about business at the age of 10, from going down to City Hall and getting permits, and I'm getting certified for the sanitation certification. So certainly do understand all of the work that it takes to be a small business. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the financial resources that are available to small businesses today through our Path Forward $30 billion commitment. But before that, I wanted to make sure that I would give Pam a minute to introduce herself, and then we could both just talk about some of the different work that we're doing. So Pam, if you can give a little bit of an overview of who you are and what you do, it'd be fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Pam Randall, also with JPMorgan Chase. I've been with the firm for over 20 years. I've spent a lot of time with business banking, working with small business owners such as yourselves in terms of helping them grow, develop, and run their businesses. I'm extremely excited to be here with you guys today, excited about the initiative that JPMorgan Chase has committed to with regards to minority entrepreneurs, and look forward to answering any questions.
Great, thanks Pam. So today's workshop, it's Plan, Manage, and Grow, and I feel like Thomas did a fantastic job really talking about the foundation that small businesses need in order to be able to go ahead and have access to traditional lending. And with Christina's, just what Goldman Sachs is doing, and with Christina's presentation, that provides you with additional resources that you can tap into to help you plan long-term how you want your business to succeed. What we're going to talk about today is the $30 billion commitment that JPMorgan Chase has made to advance racial equity. And I wanted to just really focus more on the commitment of making 15,000 loans to small minority-owned businesses in the Latinx and the Black community. Where Pam and I really play a role is this new initiative where Pam and I are mentoring small businesses. This is a brand new role. It's going to be, it's definitely going to be rolled out to 13 different cities. Chicago was the first one to establish the roles. Since starting as a senior business consultant, Pam and I have already worked with over 80 small businesses. And why is that important? It's important because I think that with the pandemic, we've definitely been able to experience and see the disparity within our communities. And we're committed to helping by providing a number of the small businesses that we mentor to ensuring that they have access to the community development financial institutions, the CDFIs that we work with. JPMorgan has invested over $1.9 billion in local dollars to nonprofits that help small businesses. But what Pam and I are trying to do is if small businesses do not have access through traditional lending due to the fact that you're still working on strengthening your financial your financial statements and your balance sheet, Pam and I can work with small businesses to connect you with a number of the different organizations like Accion and List that we work really close with to ensure that you do have access to capital. We are also working closely with a number of our colleagues at the government level to ensure that small businesses understand and a deep understanding of what resources are still available for relief funds. I feel like the best place to go to get that information is through the SBA.gov website, because they're updating that constantly to let you know what relief programs are available. Pam, do you want to share anything else as far as the work that you've been doing with the small businesses in the southwest side of Chicago?
Sorry, thanks.
It's
Thanks,
okay.
Sandra. Sure, I would just add that, our work is really focused on the development of these small businesses. As Sandra mentioned, we are dedicated full time to working with these businesses to really help them understand and grow their business from a mentoring perspective, individual and group mentoring, and providing them with access to resources, opportunities, and potentially capital and information to really help the business grow to size and scope, to be able to hire more folks in the community, to create this sustainable ecosystem. And as Sandra mentioned, in order to do that, we are leveraging our local community organizations that work with you guys day in and day out to ensure that we're really fully aligned. Some specific examples around that, as far as the work that we've done in the early stages, really have to do with a few businesses, one of which we've had the opportunity to connect them to an organization that is able to kind of give them additional access to capital based upon the fact that the business did not necessarily have their financials in order. And so, as Sandra mentioned, by partnering with an organization like an Action, they were really able to do hand holding with the business and to get comfortable with the documents that they have in order to be able to grant a lending opportunity. In addition to that, I would add that we've worked with businesses that to help them through mergers and acquisitions, from a restaurant perspective, in terms of giving them strategies and guidelines about how to kind of connect the dots, including some related to financing, but others that are specifically related to access to overall information and certifications from an MBE perspective that they were able to take advantage of. And the work that we're doing, the goal is really to continue to highlight and understand these businesses and put them into positions that they're able to kind of take advantage all of what we have to offer here at Chase, and aligning it with the partners that we support in the communities.
Thank you, Pam. To add to some of the work that Pam is doing, I have also been working really closely with the Latinx community. As we all know, there has been a huge outbreak of COVID, and so I'm actively reaching out to small businesses to ensure that they do know that there's relief programs out there and that there's still some funding that's available. And so I feel like it's important to use this platform to ensure that individuals realize that there's still some relief funds that are available through the state and local government. I also wanted to share that we continue to invest in ensuring that small businesses have the skills necessary to continue to advance and to grow. We have worked really closely with non-for-profits, as I stated, to help boost small businesses. And we are working really closely with advancing cities to help go ahead and provide some affordable lending for like affordable housing. So there's so many different initiatives that we're working on right now. So today, what we really wanted to highlight is the work that we're doing with small businesses, where we can use the power of Chase to help small businesses connect with nonprofits that will help you achieve your growth potential if you do not if you do not qualify for the traditional lendings, such as line of credit or like a term loan or any other financial loan services that a traditional bank has. So Pam, if you want to add more to what we're doing with the Chicago community, I think one more thing that I'd like to highlight is that we're also investing in community banks, where we're going to be having some community branches that are going to be available to small businesses. The first one will be open in the South Shore area. And once we're over this pandemic, that space is going to be able to be used for the local community and businesses to be able to have meetings, for us to do home lending workshops, small business workshops. So we're really investing a lot of time in ensuring that we're building the proper ecosystem to help small businesses definitely grow. Pam, do you want to add anything else?
Yeah, I think you've done a great job highlighting our core roles. I would just add, from a community lending or management perspective, we are definitely here to help support efforts, as Sandra mentioned, with our transformation of actually our Stony Island location, which will be there to support small businesses and potentially to have small businesses kind of showcase their wares, along with providing access to information and resources and workshops that will really be done locally. And so this is really part of the firm's national commitment, with Chicago being the launch, right? So Sandra and I have really been focused on building the infrastructure and designing it to ensure that the model that we have will work here in Chicago as it is, and then we're able to overlay that across the country. And so we will actually be in 13 cities by mid-2021, and really excited about being a part of the presentation today, and look forward to working with you guys and answering any questions.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. I'm excited. Let me see if I understood one of the questions that I had. Did you say that workshop where they will be able to do workshops is on Stony Island?
Yeah, so we are creating several community centers across our Chicago footprint. And with the goal within the community centers is to have a place where businesses can potentially showcase their wares, right? So
Oh,
some
wow.
folks don't actually have locations, but they'll be able to do that, along with having like workshops and seminars that might be specific to them, such as perhaps partnering with organizations like the Chicago Urban League Women's Business Development Center to bring it locally, to the community. Now, obviously, we are in a COVID environment, and so,
Yeah.
things are still being worked out, but ultimately, that is the direction that we're going. We're actually modeling this after our first community branch, which is known as the Harlem Innovation Center in New York. And so, they've done a lot of great things. We're modeling that again throughout our footprint.
Oh, wow. Wow. It sounds exciting. Sounds exciting. All of the information that has been displayed today sounds very, very good. And I hope that the actual vendors that are on today are having pen and paper, because you have given, along with Christina and Thomas, some great information for them. Christina, there's one question for you. So if you would like to answer this one, it says, any plans to create a small biz curriculum or mentorship for small business like me that have around 2+ years but don't meet the revenue requirements. My business is marketing, and I'm newly a BEP and a MBE certified, and in the process of a third party certification. So if you would like to answer that.
Sure. So, to be honest with you, we do have a niche group that we are looking to support. And the reason for that is because there are so many other resources out there really addressing your specific market. WBDC, although it's the Women's Business Development Center, they have a program called Scale Up, which is phenomenal. And we have relationships, so it's feeder programs. The Illinois Hispanic Chamber, depending upon, you said marketing, I know they have a tollway, they have this coaching for growth, and they have this other program. If you would like to maybe share offline a little bit more with me about where you are, I can better direct you to an organization that has equally as phenomenal programming, but is more geared towards your group. And then it will build your capacity to then come to us and be ready to, apply and get into our program.
And let me also say that in the back of the buying plan, if you have not taken a look at the specific guide for the virtual vendor fair, the buying plan, please do. It is online at www.chicago.gov/Chicago DPS. And if you go online and click on that buying plan, in the back there are what we call assist agencies. And those assist agencies also, you may find one you're familiar with, and they have a wealth of information as well. So all of the information here plus that should put you well on your way of finding what you need. If there are any additional questions, we will take those questions now. Please make sure that you put them in the Q&A panel. I guess this is for the field. It says, where do we go right now to find out how to take advantage of the small business mentoring and improving our financials? Anybody want to take a stab at that? I think Christina alluded to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just generally speaking, so we talk about mentorship or coaching and things of that sort. The Illinois SBDC has business advising at no cost. SCORE Chicago, our mentors, is that's what their organization does, is mentorship. Ours is integrated within the program, so it's not necessarily just offered to the general business public. If you apply and are accepted, then you will have access to our advisors. But by all means, Illinois SBDC and SCORE are both phenomenal resources for that.
And Sandra, did you want to add something to that?
Sure. And so I think each business is a different animal, right? So really depending on what the industry is, and also what your growth, what your expansion plans are, what you're forecasting is really important. So I think that there isn't just one place you can go. It really just depends on what your expansion plans are, so that we're able to go ahead and help you. And so after this, you are more than welcome to contact me, and I'm happy to have a discussion with you. Currently, we're working with 12 different nonprofits that all have a different niche. So it really just depends on what you are looking to as far as a mentorship and how you would like to expand. So please contact me, and I would be happy to just take a look at what you're looking to do with your business. If you're looking to scale it up, both Pam and I did participate in the Scale Up webinar 2 weeks ago, where we were talking about the different things that we look at when we're mentoring small businesses. But again, each business is different, so it just really just depends on what your industry is, what your need is. So please contact one of us or contact me after this, and we can definitely have a more detailed discussion.
And for those folks that are, I'll let whoever wanted to jump in, I'll let you jump in. But for those folks that are sending privately your questions, please don't do that. Please put them in the Q&A so people will know what questions have already been asked, so that we can get to all of your questions. Somebody wanted to jump in?
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted to add that the Export Center that I'm affiliated with, we are under the umbrella of the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council, and the council, as Pamela had mentioned, we're focused on MBEs and getting those certifications for those MBEs, and then there are also programs within the council that are such as the PIPE program, which is Progress, Insight, and Performance Education. This is an 8-week advanced business management program designed to provide participants from diverse owned companies with the skills and knowledge needed to optimize their businesses. So I just wanted to add that bit of information as well.
Thank you for that information. And let me also say that they are one of the CIST agencies, and so is Goldman Sachs. And hopefully we can have you can take a look at the CIST agency, like I said, and there will be others that are on there that you might recognize. There is a question I'd like to kind of ask. Let's see. What is the name of the 15-week program? I think that
So
was
that's,
you,
oh, go ahead.
Christina. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Goldman Sachs. So I got a couple private messages from people who are on the phone. So let me just call out the web address in my email just for the sake of you all. So the program is the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program. Everything that you would want to know, or even the application, is on our website. That web address is the number 10, the letter K as in kite, the letter S as in Sam, B as in boy, Chicago.com. So that's 10ksbchicago.com. And then if you all need to contact me, I'm more than happy to, whatever you have questions about. So my email address is the letter K, Christina, my name starts with a K. Wynn is my last name, spelled W-Y as in yellow, N-N-E, at ccc.edu. So kwin@ccc.edu.
Thank you, Christina. And there was a question that said, how does one qualify for a loan when most banks in Chicago only do loans with businesses with at least 2 years in business, not a startup? And I think that goes back to what Sandra was saying. So Sandra, if you want to jump in here.
No, absolutely. So here's where we do partner up with our, and I call them CDFIs, but nonprofits that we work really closely with. So it really does depend on what you're looking for. If you're looking for something that's smaller, under 100,000, that's where we would work with Acción. But if you're looking for something that's larger, then we would work with a different organization. And again, it really depends on what your need is so that we can really guide you to the right place so that you're so you don't feel like someone's like just giving you the runaround. So we really want to make sure that we're understanding and assessing what your need is to ensure that we're guiding you to the right person to help you, because we do have direct contact there. And so that we work closely with them and we do hold them accountable to ensuring that they're helping small businesses. So I would say to reach out to myself or to Pam or to anyone here in the panelists. It sounds like everyone has partnerships with the nonprofits here. It's a great ecosystem. I love to see that we're all working closely together because I think that by working closely together, we could use the power of all of these institutions and all of these organizations to ensure that all of you small businesses survive and have the resources that you need. It's just understanding exactly what the need is so that we can properly assess it.
And then the other thing that I would add to that is during Thomas's presentation, he also kind of outlined potential funding sources. I believe, Thomas, keep me honest, but I believe so. And you had some of those nonprofit organizations and other groups that we work with that might be able to do deals that are not as traditional, with the goal of once you get to that place, that you'll be able to then um, uh, get approved for a traditional credit. But sometimes there is a process that small businesses have to go through, and having access to those resources will kind of help you get the needed funds that you're requiring to grow the business.
And lastly, I would say that I know that some people have mentioned the Women's Business Development Center, but if you do not know what assist agencies are, is those agencies work with government entities to do these various things, to kind of help and guide you through some of these processes so that you are able to get money, able to get certification, able to do the things that you may have questions on doing. They kind of assist you and kind of walk you through and direct you to the various entities that could be of some help. I have one more question, and that is basically to the Chase organization. I am a Black female-owned small business operated from my home on the north side and right off of LDS. I guess that's Lakeshore Drive. I have been denied most small COVID grants due to geographic, I guess that's definitions or area. Does Chase have any grants that I can take advantage of?
Sure. So thank you for that question. That has been a question that I've received from a number of other businesses. I would encourage you to, and not knowing where you've applied for the grants, it's hard for me to determine like what the best course of action would be. Chase doesn't personally have grants. What we do is that we fund a lot of these organizations through our corporate philanthropic efforts. And so by providing them with grants, then we give them if you will, the responsibility to go ahead and provide the grants through the funding that we give them. So just depending on which grant you're looking at, we're not doing them personally. We're doing them in partnership with, as Jackie had stated, the sister agencies that we fund. So I would just recommend that the best place to go is SBA.gov. They have all of the different relief programs. I've spoken with a number of individuals also in Acción, and they've stated that due to the fact that there's still funding left, that they are open to looking at other applications. So I would say if you've not had an opportunity to go through the business interruption grant process, I would recommend that grant right there, because it's my understanding that there's still some funding left there.
And Pamela and Sandra, if you want to give them any contact information or whatever, feel free to do that now. And I would ask that each of our guests give some type of parting tip or information, maybe a reiteration or a reminder, if we can make that brief though. And I will start with Chase, since people are asking for your contact information. So we'll start with Sandra and then we'll go with Pamela.
Sure. So my contact information is Sandra, my first name, Sandra, .x as in Zena, .MAGALLON @chase.com. My parting words are this. We learned a lot about relationships with your banks through the PPP process. There was a lot of lessons that were learned. So I would say that whether you bank with Chase or any other bank, make sure that you do have a relationship with a banker, because that's very important. Sometimes when you have a relationship with a bank, automatically, I think a number of individuals felt that they would qualify for the loans, not realizing that there was all of this paperwork that was necessary, that was asked by the SBA for us to provide. I think that if we do go ahead and get another stimulus package, it would be really smart for individuals to go to their local bank who they bank with to ensure that you have all your paperwork in order, just in case there is another stimulus package that comes out, and then you're prepared to be able to go ahead and apply for some of these additional, hopefully, funds that will be available through the government. Pam?
That's some great information. Pam?
Yes, so my contact information is Pamela, Pamela dot Randle, Randle @chase.com. And to just kind of add on to what Sandra said as far as parting words, I would say truly understanding and developing not just the relationship with your banker, but expanding that to other sources. So every successful business really knows three folks. They probably know their numbers by heart. It's their banker, it's their accountant or CPA, and that's their attorney. And so as you're looking to grow and expand your business, recognizing from a foundational perspective the power of relationships and partnerships. And the last thing that I would say, particularly for small businesses, is learning how to leverage the power of technology to improve efficiencies with your business, to improve potential vendor opportunities, supplier opportunities, and creating better relationships with your customers.
Thank you. Thank you. Told you we had a great group of folks. I'll go ahead and say Christina next.
So I would just remind you all that we are recruiting currently for our 29th cohort, which is in the summer of next year. So if you're even a little bit interested, please just go and do the first part of the application. Don't wait on it and then miss the deadline, and then, do the first part of the application, get in the database so that we can continue to let you know, even if you don't decide to fully do the application process, at least you'll know every time we're recruiting for our next cycle. That would be my parting words for you all.
Thank you so much, Christina. And last but not least, Thomas Phelps.
Well, I totally agree with Sandra, Pamela, and Christina. Individuals, people, when you just need to be ready, as far as not what do I want to say? You just need to be ready. Like when the next stimulus package comes out, you need to make sure your EIN number is in, that you're registered, that you have your ducks in the order so that you can apply. I've met a lot of people that because they didn't have these things, and maybe they're in business, but they really don't have the documents set up, they're not registered with the state. You have a lot of contractors out there that's like that, and so they missed out on the PPP and they missed out on the EDIL, so that's my parting words, just be ready,
So do your research. Know your business, have all your paperwork and your ducks in a row, go to the banks and start filing, having your paper and monies in order, so that if anything comes out, you are ready and able to take advantage of it. I think that sums up what everyone has said, and I want to thank our esteemed panelists today: Thomas Phelps from the Chicago MBDA Export Center, Christina Nguyen from Goldman Sachs, 10,000 Small Businesses, and for Pamela Randle and Sandra McLeon from JPMorgan Chase. I thank you all. I thank the participants for participating in this session. I say to you, stay well, stay safe, wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask, and hopefully next year we can see everybody in person at a live vendor fair. But if not, I like this virtual thing. We can go with this as well. But just do your homework, and we want to see that you succeed and you get into more of the opportunities with the state, private, whatever you need to do, that your business is just able to flourish because of the information that you received. So we look forward to seeing the great things that are going to come out of the parting words and the words that have been expressed here today. And we say to all of you, take care, be safe. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.